Okay, so for chapter one, a functional approach to social networking sites, I found it to be really interesting because the chapter started off with talking about how with social networking sites, we now have easier access to communicating with those that are in the workforce and those that just prefer to be online or using some sort of technology in today's world. So something that they brought up was email and how that used to be like the big thing to communicate between workers, but now some work websites have like Twitter accounts or Instagram accounts or really any Facebook accounts. Like we're starting to use social networking sites and bringing it into more of a serious business approach rather than just for fun and for social aspects. So I thought that was kind of cool because used to whenever you'd see someone at work on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, you'd assume that they were goofing around or not working. But now that's really not the case because they could be, I don't know, fixing the website's logo or putting information out or this, that, and the other. And so I just thought that that was a really relevant chapter because it brought to life today's new way we really go about communicating and how it's just things are really changing and you don't have to be on board with it, but it's what's happening. And if you want to stay up to date, you have to jump on bandwagon or you're gonna fall behind basically. So I thought this was an interesting chapter because it kind of just like was saying that especially if you want to be a successful modern business person, you need to think of ways to incorporate social networking sites into the workforce. Another thing the chapter talked about is how interpersonal relationships can vary when you start bringing in social networking sites because now you have also online dating. You have, I mean, like, for example, Tinder, which is just a hookup app pretty much, versus like eHarmony, which is like a lifetime partner. You wouldn't go on eHarmony to find like a hookup basically. So I think that it started talking about how like whereas in the past you'd meet someone face to face, now you can meet people online in various ways, and it just kind of changes the way that people interact and changes the way that people develop relationships and start to get to know one another. So I thought that was kind of cool because in the past, like I said, that was just not a thing. Like I would never talk to my mom and be like, did you ever consider online dating or meeting someone online when you were my age? She'd say no. We would go out to a bar or I don't need a like dinner, just something like that. So that's the only thing that I don't like about social networking sites is like I don't like the idea of seeing someone on Instagram or Twitter and being like, oh, they seem really cool based off their tweets or their pictures, and I think I'm going to get to know them because people put up a lot of self-presentation on those type of websites. So I don't think that that's really a fair way to get to know someone. But I mean, hey, if you meet them and you still like them after you have face-to-face communication with them, then I guess there's nothing wrong with it. But I would never want someone to look at my pictures or like my physical appearance and be like, oh wow, she seems like she'd be cool. Like I would want them to actually get to know me first and talk to me before anything. So yeah, that is the basic overview of social networking sites and why they are so prevalent in our lives.